Hello, we are here with TradingView and we are going to go over the anchored VWAP Fibonacci channel technique that I am making up because once again I do not know how to draw pictures and lines and trends. So I let the tools that TradingView gives me dictate the patterns for me, right? So I've come up with some sort of technique using the Fibonacci channel and it may be incorrect. It may be an incorrect way to do it, but you slap the anchored VWAP on the first candle of the on the day. I'm using the 3-minute chart here on the SPY, and then you grab your Fibonacci channel. You anchor it to the top of the first candle, and then the second anchor is at the VWAP at open on the first candle on open. So you have to let that candle close, so VWAP will give you a location, right? And then you repeat the process from the bottom of the candle, the bottom of the first candle, to the VWAP, and then to the top of the first candle. So there we go. We have our channel for the day, and we can clearly see it's utilizing quite a few channels today, right? So we got the bottom channel being utilized right here, right? Also right here. Now you can turn on and off a lot of these lines, right? You do not have to have all the lines on the Fibonacci channels, right? Go to settings, and turn on and off. For, you can turn them on and off as you see trends, right? So as I see a trend, I'll put on a line instead of taking one off, so I can find these trend zones. For example, the 0.5 line on the upper fib channel, we will turn the lower one off. There we go. So the 0.5 line is the green line here, 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 here. We can see how much it utilized this 0.5 line throughout the day. Unbelievable, right? No, it's believable because it's all just math, right? So say dog, can you stop itching? So say algorithms control the market, right? Just say it. Algorithms control the market. Everyone else is just a player in a casino. Okay? And I do not know how to detect algorithms in the market. I watch this guy on YouTube and he detects all these algorithms in the market. But I think I have devised a way to discover the use of some of these algorithms in the market. I mean, come on, look at this. Come on. to find a way to find these algorithms, oops, by using just the anchored VWAP and the channel for the day. Now, the other thing is that I'll just show you my chart for today. Let's get rid of all this. I'll just turn on my chart. So real quick, there is another channel that I saw from May 15th. If we zoom out, we can see May 15th using this area on the channel, right? It's still using it. It's still using it. Look, it's still using this area in the channel. So now we have popped outside of the channel, right? We are outside of the channel. Okay? And now we're using the top of the channel for support. All right? So we may have entered another previous channel. All right? Do I know what channel it's in? No. But let's just turn on today's channels, right? You can use previous channels that you know are working, right? I mean, look at this support on this fib line. You can just see it, right? You could just see it right there. This line might be support in the future, right? You can just see the support. So let's just turn on today's fib channels. And I don't know if I already explained it, but you just make the channel with the VWAP in the first candle, right? So we can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. But how do you trade this? How do you trade a tight Fibonacci riding channel? Right? Well, it's very difficult. I agree. Oops. But perhaps you pull up a stochastic, just a simple stochastic meter, right? Maybe even an RSI with a Bollinger Band, right? And how would you find these locations? I mean, you know it's working through the Fibonacci channel, but how would you find a location to enter or exit, right? Well, here we have a cross down, right? And a cross up, right? So perhaps you buy a put on a cross down and a cross down of the RSI through a slow RSI. So you take a fast RSI and a slow RSI and you put them on the same line, and voila, you have crossovers. It's not that. This is not rocket science. Algorithms are not I mean, they could be rocket science. They algorithms control rockets. So yeah, maybe this is rocket science. This is rocket science. Okay, so act like you're a rocket scientist and go to the moon with these simple reading graphical math, just simple stochastic. If it cross downs, maybe you can enter into a put and ride the wave down. Okay, well, if it crosses up, maybe you can enter a call, right, and ride the wave up, right? It's a baby could do it. A baby could do this. All right? That does not mean you will make any money. All right? So a chop like this, uh, and depending on if you're using 0 days or not, right? So in this chop area, right, we have a cross down, and if you waited and bought the cross down on this candle, right, you profited a good 50 cents, right? 50 cents of option, right? And where would you get out? Well, you're tracking the SPY with your newly found Fibonacci channels, and you see that it had support here, and maybe you should get out here because this might be support again, right? Okay, well, it's that simple. The pictures draw themselves. You didn't even have to decide. You didn't have to decide where to put anything. The pictures are there. Okay, so now we have a cross up, right? We have a cross up. Okay, so what if you didn't take this put for this 40-cent play, and you decided to wait for more upside, and you got on the bottom of this candle, right? So where would you get out? Well, while riding the wave up, well, I don't know. Maybe you'd get out at resistance up at the top, right? A baby could do this. All right. The likelihood of you profiting on this is very low because who knows what the world may bring, right? Who knows what the world. It could be all this nonsense, but you know what happens? A bunch of nonsense on the indicators as well. So you want to wait for the opportune moments, right? So here we have a cross down, and well, you don't have a really much of a cross down yet, but you do have one right here. Where does it line up to? Well, right here. So if we enter to put right there, could we have profited? Very little, right? So it doesn't always work. Okay, well, if you decided, well, maybe there's more upside and you entered a call right here, right, where we have a cross up right here, and if you didn't get stopped out, look at the profit on this one. This is 589. What'd you enter? 590 to 591.52. So $1.50 in profit. And where would you get out? Well, I don't know. You ride the wave up, and if you're getting closer across down, that's about right here. And then you realize, hey, this green line was resistance earlier, and now we're above it. Maybe just maybe there might be support along this line now, right? And luck be on your side because it went all the way to the top of the Fibonacci. Well, not the top of the Fibonacci channel, actually. The Fibonacci channel goes up to 597.91. And I think if 592.81 holds in the future, and right now we're down below it in after hours. So unless we get and like I said, this might be a no-go zone, right? So if we fall in through support, we might go down back into the bottom Fibonacci channel for further use of the lower areas. Retesting 589.05 as support, right? If this is a giant break and retest, or if this is a giant cup and handle, right? Say it's a giant cup and handle, right? So the 589 bounce, right, would be the handle. So maybe look to get overextended from the lower Fibonacci line, right? When we're overextended from the lower Fibonacci line, I know you're going to have brand new Fibonacci lines tomorrow to use, but this could be a play for tomorrow. Is just a giant cup and handle. This is probably going to happen in the morning hours, and then it's going to dip, and then we're going to have to use the new Fibonacci channels for tomorrow. So a lot can happen, right? I tend to not like patterns like cup and handles, but this possibly could be a inverse cup and handle for some downside if you didn't take profit up here. But anything goes. I think if we gap up and start using the upper channel again, there might be more upside. Who knows? And that will invalidate the inverse cup and handle. I don't know, man. This is crazy how well it works. But if this cup and handle forms overnight, that's going to be hilarious.